Have you been lied to by your favorite food?
Let's talk about that. Good mythical morning.
Almost every company out there has some sort of marketing slogan, tagline, or call to action to help you remember who they are. Like if I say, I'm loving it, you immediately know who I'm talking about.
Well, if you say I'm loving it, it could mean anything because you pretty much like any food.
Fair point, but I'm talking about McDonald's. And while that claim is a little more subjective to every individual person's own opinion, some brands make definitive marketing claims like that have gone wholly unchecked. Wholly unchecked.
Holy.
So today, we're gonna find out who's been selling the truth and who's been feeding us nothing but lies. It's time for Don't Lie to Me, Food. I thought we were closer than that. I wouldn't have let you in my mouth if I knew you were full of crap.
Here's how this is gonna work, okay? We're gonna take a series of famous brand slogans or taglines and put them to the test in real life.
If it turns out to be true, we will officially call it bona fide.
Bona
If we
fide.
find that it's nothing more than a case of false marketing, it'll be total lies.
Total lies.
And we will demand that they change it.
Let's get testy. First up, we got Raisin Bran, not Crunch, which is one of my favorites, but this is a staple for any pantry. The brand is most popularly known for the 2 scoops of raisins in every box slogan. Does that ring a bell? You did that one.
I guess it does. Thank you, Ring a Bell Boy. For any of you who are still not familiar, here's the old commercial.
This temple crew has a plan.
Yeah.
And they begin by digging into those 2 scoops in every Kellogg's pack. 2 scoops. Keep them coming back for 2 scoops of plump, juicy raisins in Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Oh man.
2 scoops.
Yes, so
2
catchy.
scoops. Very catchy.
Now we have determined that this is the actual size of the scoop based on 2 factors. Number 1, we analyzed that commercial based on the assumption of how far apart those guys' eyes were.
Right.
And then based on how large this sun was, and this is the exact size that is being claimed in the commercial, a 3-ounce scoop.
And honestly,
Right?
I feel like the scoop in that commercial was even bigger, so we're really giving them a nice chance. I'm gonna pour roughly half of the cereal over there and half over here so we can double team and
Now
half the time this.
This might blow your mind, but did you know that every raisin was once a grape?
I did, yeah.
I learned that last year.
There's something.
Every single, this, can you imagine how many grapes this would be?
Okay.
I think I'm gonna separate and then scoop.
No more stuff in there.
We're not counting grapes. We're just putting them together. Well, the only thing we have to count is 2 scoops.
And you can't eat any of them because that's gonna mess things up. You can eat all the flakes you want. I mean, you're not even putting it directly in the scoop.
I'm putting it just over onto the side.
I mean, you could save yourself a time of trouble later just by putting them in the scoop.
Yep, too late.
I'm just telling you. You know what? I don't want to control how you're doing things.
You don't?
Just because
Well, that's interesting.
I know the best way to do it doesn't mean that it's the way you have to do it. Now, this is looking pretty good, guys. I think that this is gonna work. Assuming that we have divided these
I
appropriately.
think I might have more grapes than you over here, so.
Yeah, I'm looking pretty good. All right,
Now put me next to the sun.
you want this in here?
Well, next to me, not in my way.
Well, I don't know what you mean.
I want to compare.
this?
Yep. Do you know what next is?
Hey, don't get testy, man. 2 full scoops in every box. Raisin Bran is bona fide.
Next, we have a classic that is no stranger to this show or my birthday parties growing up, KFC. And unless you've been living under a chickenless rock, you know that KFC claims to have chicken that is finger licking good.
It also rings a
We're
bell.
trying to lock that in.
Are you a chicken finger licker? Because I think that the slogan.
A chicken finger licker is different than a finger licking chicken. I don't lick my chicken fingers, that's gross.
But you lick your fingers after eating chicken. I just don't like the idea of like licking my fingers.
What about licking mine?
And especially licking yours.
I don't know if I am, but the thing is now that I'm being watched, I'm in my own head about it.
This is not the test.
It is good chicken, though.
We have conducted a bona fide, I call it a double-blind study. I don't know what that means.
No.
We asked crew members to eat chicken, and that's all we told them. We filmed them. They knew they were being filmed, But they didn't know that we were trying to see if they were gonna lick their fingers.
But they weren't blindfolded. Because that's
Did they
not
lick
part of
their
a
fingers?
double-blind study. Let's watch.
And find out.
Forgot how to eat, Mindy.
Ooh,
Okay,
crunchy.
look at them. They're happy.
It doesn't taste familiar to me though.
Popeyes.
Okay, so they're eating with their hands.
Might be pavilion.
We don't have any fork eaters.
Like grocery store quality.
Yeah,
They're very.
I don't think it's grocery store.
Oh.
Love how they didn't give us napkins.
Oh.
I heard Morgan say napkins, and Chase said nope.
Okay. So they know something.
No, they're just trying to embarrass us.
What is David doing? He's
Yeah.
making the chicken move.
No, I sit like this. I like.
Everybody sway back and forth.
I think they're afraid to.
For my mouth.
They're engaging.
They're afraid
in
to
a
lick their
problem.
fingers.
Amy's wiping her.
I think this will just be my lunch break.
They were not comfortable licking their fingers on camera.
They're being watched. They don't want to be the finger lickers on camera. So I mean, I just feel
It
like
doesn't feel great.
I think the thing is that do you get the need to possibly lick your fingers while you eat the chicken? It's up to you whether you lick it or not, but is there something on your fingers that could be licked? Yes.
Definitely. I mean, they were down like this.
KFC can't control your behavior, but they can control what happens when you interact with their chicken.
But they're trying to control it because they're putting that slogan out into the world.
they're just suggesting it.
Yeah, but it's planted, and the fact that it is in their psyche somewhere, and none of them did it.
I mean, everybody, they're sitting there
The
standing like this at
manipulation
the end of the.
increases the chances they should have licked their fingers, is what I'm saying.
Right, so it is. You're saying it's bona fide.
No, they
I'm
didn't lick their
siding with
fingers.
Link on this one because the test isn't do you need to lick your fingers, it's do you want to lick your fingers.
Actually, it's did you lick your fingers?
Well, the only thing I'll say, and I'll go along with you and call KFC a liar, as long as they'll still sponsor us one day, is that I do feel like the grease depositing onto the fingers is something that they successfully accomplished. Whether you lick your fingers or not is up to you. So we're gonna say KFC, total lies! Okay, before we put this next food claim to the test, we want to remind you that this is your last chance to watch Good Mythical Evening, and you want to make sure you watch it before it goes up to content heaven. So you got to go pick up the Beast on Demand package, which gives you a 48-hour window to watch it. Remember that no matter when you purchase it, the show will stop being available to view at midnight on Sunday. So check it out. It was crazy, a lot of fun. GoodMythicalEvening.com.
All right, next we're taking a trip into Candyland with Starburst. They're not as good as Nerds, but that doesn't mean they ain't good. And it doesn't mean that their claim is false, which is unexplainably juicy.
Oh, yeah.
There's that bell.
There it is. Now, first of all, that's not even a word, man. Shouldn't it be inexplicably juicy?
Unexplainably, yeah.
Inexplicably is just harder to say and not as catchy.
And I didn't know that was their slogan, but when you look at the Starburst, the S, it actually has a juice drop coming off
That's
of
a juice
it.
drop, everybody.
And of course, they say unexplainably juicy in their marketing.
Do you think of Starburst as juicy to begin with?
I think of them as fruity and chewy, but I've never...
There's juice happening in my mouth, but is it from me or is it from the Starburst?
You can't explain it? See? I do see where they're coming from.
I wouldn't have thought to describe these as juicy, but it is happening in my mouth. But to find out, we're going to enlist the help of somebody smart enough to explain the science behind juiciness. Okay, so let's bring in our good friend, Science Mike. Welcome to the show in person. Yeah!
We did it.
Here you are. Of course, we have a lot of interactions in our normal friendship lives where we're just grilling you about stuff that we...
Yeah.
Please explain so-and-so to us.
Yeah.
So if you can explain why these are juicy, then you're basically debunking their entire marketing campaign, and that would be awesome.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's completely tear apart
let's,
Starburst.
Open a Starburst. And I would just ask, is that juicy to
Heck
you?
No.
No.
It actually looks dry.
At this time, it is quite dry, and in fact, we can like try to tear it. I find it still really dry inside.
Our friend Mike is trying to tear a Starburst, and he has succeeded.
Yeah.
But what you might notice from the texture here is it's actually kind of, it's just a taffy. Starburst is a taffy.
Yeah.
Taffy is not typically described as juicy. So
No.
what is going on here? Well, it's chemistry, primarily.
chemistry.
You have things that want to dissolve in water and don't readily want to dissolve in water. In a starburst, what you don't have is very much moisture.
Nope.
So, based on the texture of a starburst, when it gets in your mouth,
Yeah.
you kind of want to bite it. And when you bite it, it doesn't really feel chewable at first. So you kind of suck on it, which makes it softer,
Yeah.
which makes it chewable, and it's acidic. So 3 things together: the need to chew, or the desire to chew and the act of chewing, the need to suck on a food item, and an acidic taste all produce saliva from your salivary glands.
Talking about
So-
spit.
In Starburst are really concentrated fruit flavors. And if you'd hand me that packet over here, this is Kool-Aid, which is remarkably similar, actually, to the fruit flavor in a Starburst. And in the same way...
You about to tell us that Starburst has been using Kool-Aid all this time?
Well, they've been using concentrated fruit flavors and sugar, so this is also not juicy. My hand is not juicy, but when we add a stimulus that creates liquid
Rhett's hand
through
is juicy.
saliva...
You want to go in Rhett's hand?
No, they're not
I'll
that
do it right
claiming.
here.
They're not that
Because
claiming.
we got a paper towel for this, so not juicy, but...
Oh my gosh, are you okay?
Super juicy and red. It's cherry.
Oh my God, Mike!
So, Starburst,
You've got a bleed. You got a
saliva.
We got a
apparently
bleeder.
You got a bleeder.
Is blood red.
Can you believe that it turned that blood red?
Just so fast.
That's the most exciting thing that's happened.
So yeah, that's very.
cool.
But that's juicy.
Like if
Oh
I
man,
just go.
you're gonna have red hands for a while. It's tough, man. I used to stir all my Kool-Aid with my bare hands, and it would take weeks to get rid of the stains. Oh gosh, yeah,
This went in a whole different direction.
that is unexplainably
expected.
juicy. Okay, well, I think what Mike just did is he explained it. I don't know if I could then explain it
So
to
freaking
you,
concentrated.
but it can be explained, which means Starburst is total lies. Last but not least, we have Oreos, which the people behind the cookie claim is Milk's favorite cookie. Whoa, he was on top of that one.
Milk's favorite cookie, kind of my thing. That is a big claim, my friend. So we need to put this to the test by seeing if there's other cookies that Milk likes even better.
I don't want to throw a wrench into this. We're going to start with the first one, but this is sort of a philosophical conundrum because how do we know what Milk thinks to begin with?
That's true, Rhett. That's tough. I've never really asked Milk its opinion on anything.
Well, so
and
how
now I feel like a jerk.
So are you saying you're extrapolating and interpreting and saying that what they're saying is what one goes best with Milk and that's what we're testing? Like we're
Yeah.
dumbing down this philosophical claim that Nabisco is making?
The Milk seems to be just as happy as it was on the front
Here's
side.
a way
of me
that we
dipping
could
in it.
potentially determine it.
Yeah?
The more that
Still
Milk,
not gonna lick your finger.
the more that Milk
No.
maybe the more that Milk can work its way into a cookie, which is what happens with Oreos in a big way.
If you wait too long, nothing will come up.
You
It's
have
like
to
acid.
assume that Milk likes that. Milk likes being able to get into the nooks and crannies. And so
to dominate it.
let's see if there's
and
another
disintegrate
cookie
it.
that it can infiltrate as well as it can an Oreo.
How about we start with Chips Ahoy, chocolate chip?
How about we? I'll dip any type of cookie, and I've dipped them all, but I can't quite remember if any of them have dipped better than an Oreo.
Well, there's a lot of milk in that Oreo. I mean, Chips Ahoy.
But it doesn't,
It doesn't taste as good.
Yeah,
Screw it, man.
the Oreo tastes better not dipped in the milk. I mean, the Chips Ahoy, the freaking Oreo tasted
Whatever,
better.
Shall we move on to Mrs. Fields' Snickerdoodle?
Now this one has to be half seed.
Mrs. Fields is making cookies too big these days.
And that's a gooey cookie. I mean, you just want to bite the middle of that because it's so moist, but that's not gonna work. That's not gonna befriend it to the milk.
I think it's too thin for Milk. I think
Too thin and greasy.
Milk likes it thick.
And that cream in the middle really, really saddles up to that. Is it saddles up or sidles up to the milk?
Well, what is Seidel?
That's pretty good.
That tastes incredible, but
It's just because
the milk doesn't really like it.
The cookie tastes incredible, but that's it. No, we have nothing to top it yet.
Let's try Keebler Sandies.
These are thick daddies. Look
Sandies.
at that. That's a thickness. Lots to penetrate.
I will say, I didn't know I was going to go here, but I didn't know we were going to have pecan sandies on here. But we actually received a personal message directly from Sandy Patty. I'm not making this up. after we talked about, you said Sandy's Patty some while back.
Yeah, let's roll that now.
We don't have it.
Do you have it?
We don't have it, but
I will get it.
I
It's
want
in
you to
there.
know we do have it.
Remember Sandy Patty?
Singer?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to see Sandy's Patty. No, I didn't mean that.
These Sandys get a lot of milk.
It's too much milk.
It's too much milk.
It's like I can actually just taste milk.
Maybe milk wants to be front and center every once in a while.
The milk can destroy, but at the
It doesn't
perfect
want to.
time, it is a perfect harmony. So no,
You understand.
It didn't work.
Let's just move on to Nilla wafers.
Nilla wafers, they're difficult to penetrate. I've tried many times.
No. What I'll do is I'll put a Nilla wafer in my mouth and just let it mush.
Oh, the milk worked its way in. Oh,
That is a very Oreo.
and hold on, that tastes really good.
Yeah,
This is the first one that's giving it a run for its money.
but it doesn't have any
Cream in the middle.
and I'm really missing that cream. But this is still a nice little thing. It's why they put them into the dessert casseroles.
Are you being paid by Nabisco? Because you really are defending Oreo to a real great degree.
Nilla wafers are made by Nabisco too.
Now, so you are being paid by Nabisco.
Let's try Grandma's peanut butter cookies.
See, I gotta break this one. Oh, it's soft.
Oh, you know what? Actually, it just fits. It actually holds itself up. Very little penetration because the oil in the peanut butter is saying, I'm already here.
I like it with the milk, but let's just go back to the beginning.
It's either these or Nilla wafers.
Let's remind ourselves. You gonna go into my milk now? You have your own milk.
I feel like I've soiled my milk. I feel like I've done too many things.
Either
to
use my milk or put your finger in my mouth, but you can't do both.
Wow. That's hard to believe how good that is.
It is not matched or even approached by anything else we've tasted, not even the Nilla wafer.
I agree. I think Oreo, Milk's favorite cookie, bonafide.
I feel a sense of relief.
Yeah, right.
It's nice to know
You'd have to give up that
something you've
sponsorship.
respected and has been a part of your life is not a lie, you know? There's nothing worse than like knowing someone your whole life and then you realize that they've been lying to you.
Well, but we only determined that Raisin Bran and Oreo are telling the truth and KFC and Starburst are just telling dirty marketing lies. How
Yeah.
do you sleep at night?
We know about your other families.
Thanks for subscribing and clicking that bell.
You know what time it is.
Hi.
I'm Daniel,
And I'm Bree.
and we're in Uluru, Australia for our second anniversary.
And it's time to spin the wheel of mythicality.
I hope they drove out there because you can get lost and never be seen again.
It's beautiful though, it's a great place to die.
Click the top link to see if we can actually remember famous food slogans in Good Mythical more.
And to find out where the Wheel of Mythicality is gonna land. If you missed our adults only Good Mythical evening event, you can still purchase a Beast on Demand package to get access for 48 hours. Check out goodmythicalevening.com.